Good morning. Welcome to Rise and Right, the TOFURKEY special. And by that, I just mean that it's Thanksgiving here in the United States. I am joined today by Ma'am. And Chonk. That was Chonk right there. If you saw a potato walk by, that was actually a cat. I don't know. We raise potatoes in this household. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. If if you happen to watch all of my streams, then you know that I was just here 10 hours ago. I feel like nobody is watching both of those streams, though. Maybe if you're on the East Coast, or maybe if you are in India, because they were at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I feel like really only the 8s is that viable for anybody to have a chance of doing both. Because otherwise it's just too late or it's too early on one side or the other. Yeah. Also, I'm fussing with my nails right now because I destroyed them pretty bad making a cheesecake yesterday. Just accept that. Cheesecake can be rough on your nails. Also, I'm really new to like doing nails. Oh my god, that cat! Look at how fat he is. I'm not. I had to wear latex gloves for 7 years. And that powder in them just strips nail polish off. So now that I'm not doing that job anymore, I'm like, woo, I'm gonna wear nail polish, but I'm not smart enough for it. Good morning. Keep faith, baby. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And the same to you, Miriam. Welcome. We are going to get our first sprint going in just a minute here. Looks like I'm just taking all my nail polish off because I wrecked it all. Yes, there are so many cats here. So let me go ahead and get this timer up. Our first sprint is going to be just a little 10-minute. And then from there, we are going to do 15-minute sprints. And we'll get a good amount of writing in today. If I'm lucky, I will get about 1,400 words is my goal for this morning. I've had a goal to write 5,000 a day for the last few days, and I've been mostly good with it. I am... Let's see. I just had this stuff up and meant to actually check this, and of course I didn't. I didn't hit my goal yesterday. I did get 4,200, so it's not like I did terrible. I just was trying to make a cheesecake while I wrote the last 2,000, and so that last 2,000 ended up being 1,200. Still good, not as good as I wanted it to be. So I've maintained... I didn't even. I managed 2 days of getting 5K plus before I sank below to 4,200 yesterday. So I would love to rally and get to that 5K today. But also it's Thanksgiving. We're not doing much, of course, because COVID. But we are having a couple people who are just in our bubble in general over. And even though you're not doing a big thing, there's still all of those expectations. Most of us celebrate Thanksgiving entirely for the ridiculous feast, and we're just not honest with ourselves. We tell ourselves that it's about giving thanks and all of that. But really, you've got all these holidays in like other cultures and in like fantasy and whatnot that are like the feast of this thing. And really that's all Thanksgiving is, the feast of America. So we will be feasting. There are 5 of us, and I made an entire dang cheesecake last night for us. There is no such thing as a small cheesecake. We're going to have so much cheesecake left after this. I went on a whole ramble there. That's okay. That's okay, because that just means I'll shave off extra time later. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. We're going to write for 10 minutes. It is 7 past. So I will see you guys at 17 past. Okay, we are back. Let's see. Oh, Miriam is working on contemporary romance. Awesome. I am working on space romance. Keep faith, baby. Keep faith, baby. Ooh, you got 65 words. The chapters are super tiny. You're working on a short story. I don't put chapters in short stories. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That's not commentary that you're doing anything wrong. I just never thought to put, you know what though? I say short stories, but I did this thing where I leapt from flash fiction. So we're talking like under 1,000, under 1,500, right to full length novels. And I never got the short story length quite down. And I never got, sorry, I'm typing as well. I'm still struggling on the novellas. I did do a novelette recently, which that was like 10,000. So like high end on a short story. And that worked, except I say that I worked, but what it was bonus content for the series that I'm writing. So like a newsletter magnet. And so it was like within a world that already existed. So I don't know if I can really say it was a success on its own. It worked for what I needed it to do. I did get 223 in there. I'm really proud of myself. I didn't feel like I was doing anything like that. And I kept making typos, which I am somebody who goes back. I'm also making wordos, speakos. All my typos make sense when I can't even say words properly. Anyway, I've been going back and like fixing all of them. There was a time when I was one of those people who said, I'm not fixing any of my typos because I just need to get this 50,000 out. But this year I'm already at 78,000. That big goal of writing 5,000 a day is so that I can hit 100,000 because I've never done that before. And since this is all that I'm doing this year, I figured why not? I feel like I have officially gotten more than I have any other nano at this point. Now I'm curious about it. Oh, if that page will load. Let's see. Oh no, that was editing. Oh, crud. Okay. I had no idea about this, obviously, from the way that I'm talking. But last year, I managed to get 99,000. So I really do have to hit 100,000 to beat what I've gotten previously. And then before that, I got 77,000. I got 77,000 twice. These numbers are real weird. That's okay. Just like I happen to work on the same project 2 consecutive nanos, so that is strange looking to me. Anyway, so yeah, I have a feeling that 77,000 or that 99,000 that I got last year was with editing as well. Man, that doesn't look like it though. Oh no. I edited last year. I made my numbers prettier last year. I did write well over 70,000. Last year, I wrote an entire novel and then edited that entire novel to be published in December, which is not best practice. I don't recommend you do it. There are a lot of people who poo-poo NaNoWriMo because of people, they feel that the nano community encourages exactly what I just said, which goes, basically putting stuff out that hasn't been professionally edited or gone through a massive editing process, all the things that you want to do to make things really professional when you publish them. But that thing that I did last year, I just happened to be really good at and efficient at editing. So that is something that is kind of my superpower right there. I can do this writing thing really fast. And the editing, I can really turn out some books. They're not complicated books. This isn't, some Gone with the Wind or Proust or anything. I'm just doing paranormal romance. It's it's a fairly rudimentary genre. But that is what I did last year. I'm absolutely not doing that this year, but I am somebody who has to have a ridiculous plan every time. So this year, I was writing 2 novels and editing another. I wrote the first novel, I edited the next novel, and now I'm, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I am at scene 22 of... I'm at scene 22 of about 30. So I will hopefully get this finished. That's my other goal. It's a lot easier to put a numerical goal on your day. My big goal is to finish this second novel. Hopefully we'll get there, but either way, I want to get that 100. All right, so to that end, let's go ahead and get this next sprint going. We are going to go for 15 minutes this time. 15. And we are going to go to the right screen. I still have some settings wonky from yesterday. By the way, if you did see some of my show yesterday, that cheesecake came out looking pretty nice once I got to it this morning. It had really big cracks on the side. It's been a long time since I made a cheesecake last, as evidenced by the fact that I couldn't figure out how to put it in my oven. I used to make cheesecakes like 6 times a year, probably every other month. But at this point, we've been in this house for 4 or 5 years now, so at least that long. And I was worried because it had a lot of cracks on the side, and I forgot with cheesecakes that, like, once it cools, all of the really tall cracks become little itty bitty cracks. So let's go ahead and write for the next 15 minutes. It is 8:25 on the East Coast. So we're going to write until 8:40. Good luck, everybody. All right, we are back. I am going to go finish this sentence. I wish I didn't have that white bar around that right now. Do you see what I'm talking about? I'm using my mouse to show you what I'm talking about, and that doesn't work because I'm on the wrong screen. But anyways, there's this faint white bar going around this box that's not normally there. I'm sure it's because the settings were not correct when I did this. That's okay. I substance over style, right? So I'm gonna go finish this sentence right quick, because it's a wonky one. Yeah, that sentence had a lot of science jargon in it. I'm gonna adjust this right quick. I've got two doctors. Is this book, the protagonists in this book are two doctors. I always have an issue with the diction in my novels. I just have an issue, so if you're writing genre fiction, they always say that it needs to be readable at a ninth grade level. Just because that's, I guess, what the general population reads at when they don't want to have to think too hard. I'm really bad at matching that. It's just, the thing with like my background is I've got both a science background and also a degree in English, which was lit heavy, and my own. This is funny because, as soon as you try to talk about something, you forget what the word means. My own vocabulary, I'm going to go with. It tends to be slightly more advanced. It is what it is. Again, it's just my background. I'm not going to say that I'm like that much smarter than everybody else. I just have a more extensive vocabulary than most. And it's hard for me to rein that in when I'm writing because, of course, you want to write things as succinctly as possible. And that can be hard if you're going off of ninth grade words. The other thing is that for me, I feel like the majority of the words that I use are absolutely accessible to ninth graders, but apparently ninth graders don't believe so. I've also had really weird issues. I have entered into a couple of contests in my earlier days when I didn't understand how they worked. And I was told once, I was given a whole lecture about this ninth grade thing one time for a romance competition that I entered. I was called out again for my diction being too high, but the word that they were specifically referring to was necromancer. And this was in a contemporary romance that was between two video game players. It was a billionaire romance, but the billionaire basically owned, I'm going to say, just instead of making up a company, he basically owned EA Games. He was somebody who had like come up with a game when he was in high school that just exploded, basically World of Warcraft, which I guess would mean that he basically owned Blizzard. But so so I have this word necromancer in there. I believe she might have also called out dervish in there. And I got this whole thing about, this needs to be ninth grade. And if your readers don't know the terms, they're going to be turned off by it. And you've got all this video game jargon. And I think this is bad. And I'm going to dock points for it. Because, again, it was for a competition. But the thing is, I don't know if any of y'all listening or watching right now has ever read historical romance. But I literally, I will only read it on, and by historical, I don't, you know what? No, I was going to say, I'm not referring to Victorian, the more recent stuff. I'm referring more to the Highlander stuff. But honestly, even with the Victorian stuff, I have to read it on an e-reader because there's so many references, right down to their wardrobe. There are so many things that I have no idea what that term means that I need to be on an e-reader. So, they've got the dictionaries built into them. So I felt like it was really weird that having these video game terms, somehow I'm supposed to understand, I can't even think of a good example, braise, when they're talking about pants, he's wearing his braise, I guess. I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced, because again, I don't live in, God knows how it would have sounded like in 17th century Scotland or wherever the hell it was, but plackets, oh my God. So, and that's okay that they use these terms, but if I'm writing a game that is a romance between two video game players, and one of them is playing a necromancer and the other one is playing a dervish, the video game audience is going to either understand those terms, like necromancer, you see stuff like that constantly, or if you do D&D or anything like that, or if you read fantasy. Dervish is a less common term, but any video game player is used to there being these weird terms in it for the different characters types, and you get really excited to find out what this character does. So I don't even know how I got on that, except that I don't read. Oh, completely unrelated is how I got onto it. I don't write at a ninth grade vocabulary. And so now with these characters that I'm writing, they're scientists. So of course, to make them smarter, they shouldn't be at a ninth grade vocabulary. But because my dumb characters still sound way smarter than they should, I have to make the scientists sound even smarter, but still understandable to the general public. And it's a struggle because it really is all about finding that one exact word that hits the money spot on it, that people are familiar with, but would never speak. Miriam, I'm glad that you understand what I'm talking about. Mills and Boon is the British version of Harlequin, right? I feel like it's the exact same thing, but it's just their British line. And we are going to start writing again in just a minute. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. The whole industry is weird, and that is part of why I like self-publishing. Also, in case you're wondering what I keep looking at, I do my best to set things up so that I am actually making eye contact with you, because I don't like when people are not looking at the screen. It's weird to me. Not that I'm telling anybody to change how they do their show, but for me, I don't like if I'm not looking out on my audience, even though I can't see them. But I am now painting my nails. I'm hoping that if I get this done now, and I can avoid screwing them up during the sprint, then I'll have nice looking nails for today. I don't know why I care about this. Literally none of the people who are coming to Thanksgiving do I worry about how I look. And like, you have to get pretty far out there for me to care about that. In general, obviously, I am not somebody who worries about their appearance. There we go. But again, this nail thing is new and fun to me, and I only have 2 colors, and I'm making the best of it. I feel like they're not great colors either. Like the quality of the polish is not good. Okay, so we're ready for the next 15 minutes. It is 8:51 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States. So that is going to take us to 9:06 a.m. I will see you guys then. Okay. That sprint is over. Finish this sentence. It is 2 words. There we go. I did not get as many written that time. Not at all. I forgot to mention this in the last sprint, but I did write 345 in the last sprint. And this sprint, I only wrote about 200, slightly less than 200, 198, in fact. I did have to do an extensive research break in that, though. Again, I've got sci-fi medical drama happening, so I had to learn a bit more about the brain. Discovered that pretty much all emotions come from the amygdala, and all of the good emotions come from the left amygdala, and bad emotions come from both the left and the right. So that doesn't seem right, but that's okay. But yeah, so that is something that if you damage, you don't feel emotions anymore. There were a couple examples of how to damage it. I didn't need a permanent damaging for this. I just needed a reason that, like, romance doesn't happen where they are, but it's happening now. And like, I always knew that it was going to be that romance wasn't happening because there was some medical intervention happening that somebody figured out to fix. Again, I'm writing sci-fi romance. This is a pretty normal, not necessarily a regular occurrence, but if you read sci-fi romance, it's all totally like, yeah, this is something that would happen. But the thing is that the whole time I'm reading this, I am of that precise age that anytime brain words come up, like amygdala, all I can think of is Adam Sandler yelling medulla oblongata. There's a certain generation of us that, like, that was our first big fancy brain term that we knew, medulla oblongata, which is a I'm going to say a less refined place than the amygdala. By that I mean it controls a more broad range of it's a less of a finesse thing. Here we are with my big words. Finesse. That's something else that I do. I do make up a lot of words. I write usually in deep third perspective. So I have a lot of wacky characters, and a great way to make characters wacky is for them to make up words. And if you're writing in deep third is basically first person. Like the level that you are with your character is basically first person. It just happens to be written in third person, but like the difference between first and third is pretty much boiled down to just pronouns. So because of that, a lot of made up words happen, not just in dialogue, but also in thought, because of those moments where you just don't know the right word. So you say something like finesse in order to describe something that has had finesse applied to it. It is finesse. Also, I just enjoy making up words. It's one of those things. I'm not in any way claiming to be on par with Shakespeare, who kind of rewrote the entire English language for the better. Yes, I am back to painting my nails, by the way. Third coat. If you were not aware of this already, Shakespeare, I'm just going to throw a random big number out there, and I'm probably way off, but I feel like in his works there's something like 1,000 made up words, or like 500 or something like that. It's a real big number. And many of those words we still use today. And of course, here we are with me talking about something and not having an example on hand. But if you look it up, you will see that I am correct on this. And I think that is a really neat thing that this one guy who, we know for his plays, which is important, and they are good plays. They've got that thing where they're kind of the basis for so many other things. They've been really modernized and they still work today. Even if we do have to, spruce them up for modern society sometimes, but really we don't talk so much about the huge impact that he had on the English language. And Miriam says that research is important. It absolutely is. Thank you. And she got 341. That's fantastic. And that first person is whack. She feels like she's writing while having multiple personality disorder. I feel that. I don't mind writing at first. I'm actually, for what I'm writing now, so usually I write paranormal romance, a little bit of contemporary romance, but even with the contemporary, it's normally has some sort of a fantasy or sci-fi element to it. This is my first time writing alien romance. It was just a lark because I finished a demon romance project. So in this one, I am writing for... I have started a trend with nail polish. But so for this one, I am writing in first because that very much is the trend for the genre. My issue with writing first is I don't know. I hear all of these authors talking about the effort they go to for like building their characters and like themes and all of these things where they are very deliberate in what they write. I am not in any way deliberate in how I write. I just kind of do it. And because of that, I feel like I don't have individual voices for my characters, which makes first person a little bit more difficult. In that third deep, at least, I can, have them focus on different things, and that's kind of enough to get their different voices across, or maybe have them have favorite words or stuff like that. But in this one, I feel like I don't do it and everything comes in the same voice. But nobody has ever said that I have a problem with that. Nobody has ever complained about it in my writing. So I'm not worried about it until people complain. Ruby Dixon. Is that Ice Planet Barbarians? I feel like I tried Ruby Dixon and I was not completely wowed, but also people love Ruby Dixon. So don't take my opinion as like proof that, there's anything wrong with her. Ice Planet Barbarians is always like the first thing recommended when people talk about alien romance. I personally, the series that got me that I was like, yes, I do want to pursue this was V.K. Ludwig's Garrison Earth, which is just very different from that common, it doesn't use as many of the alien tropes that you see in other things, or it's used differently. Okay. It is time for the next sprint. It is 1/4 so that is going to take us to 1/2 there we go. Let's get this started, and I will see you guys in 15 minutes. All right, we are back. We are going to do one more sprint in 10 minutes. We'll be ending this at 10 a.m. Eastern. Let me finish this sentence. It is a critical sentence. Okay, so that sentence is done, and let's see how I did, and please let me know how you guys did in the comments. I felt a little bit better about that sprint. I've been stuck on the same scene for, it's like 4,000 words now, which I know some people do write really long scenes. I don't. I wrote 372 that time. Hey, Nicole, thanks for joining us. Again, we do have one more sprint that we're going to do. So we're getting toward the end, but we're not there yet. Oh gosh, that was the wrong scene. There we go. The scene is at 3,500 right now, and I really do cap my scenes at 2,000 to 2,500. But again, this story is a really weird thing for me. It's a genre that I haven't written before. I probably will not continue to write it after this series, but I am hoping to do a little rapid release on it in the spring and see how it goes. I've gotten a lot more savvy on the marketing and releasing and all of that since I started my last series. I have some regrets now. I thought none of that really mattered and you could just sell it later. And it turns out that there's a whole lot of stuff out there marketing wise that you really can't do unless the book is a brand new release. And it doesn't matter that that series is still being released for a lot of that stuff unless you're already making it big on that first one. So I'm hoping that this one I can do some amazing stuff with in the marketing department and make a little bit of money off of it. I will say, when I started this stream, I said my goal for this stream was 1,400, but I didn't believe I'd be able to do it because again, I've just been going a little slower than usual, but I'm at 11:38 and there is another 15 minutes. And if I do exactly what I did on the last sprint, I will have 1,410. So I'm going to cross my fingers that I can hit that goal. Miriam got 256. That's fantastic. And you are up to 44,675. So you are right on track to finish on time, right? I feel like that is about what today's goal is. Yes, you are just like, oh, wow, these numbers are real weird this time. Since I don't like 50K isn't something that I have to work hard on. That's a really weird way of saying it. I write more than 50,000 words in a month, just in general. So I don't look at the chart that often, but of course it should be an increment of like 0.003333667. But at this point, it's saying 342. And that's real weird. Okay, I'm not going to stress about it. Anyways, you should be at 43K with a little bit of extra at the end of today. So you are doing great, Miriam. It has been so long since I've hugged that line that well. And actually, I kind of miss that. I miss having that like real consistent, I'm going to get this like perfectly straight line. I remember those years. I feel like it was really good training for me for now to be efficient and consistent in my productivity. But also I don't have those lines anymore. Sorry, I'm now looking at all of these stats. I love when a website gives me 8 million graphs to look at. I have a lot of problems with the current nano site. We all do, but among my problems is not the number of charts that they give us. Oh yeah. Okay, so your average is 1230 for the end of the month. So that isn't terrible at all. And if you get 1K on this stream, then you're not that far away from it. So that is great. I just looked really sadly at my coffee. I was hoping there was more coffee, and there is not. I'm normally a 2-cup a day person, 2-cup a morning. I have those 2 cups of coffee back to back, and I'm good for the day. And you know what? I normally get right around 1,000 per stream for these morning sprints, because one of these sprints I sacrifice in order to make coffee, and I haven't today. All the numbers are making sense to me. Yeah. Oh gosh, I went on that ramble and I forgot where I was going. Oh no, I do still have a cat. I said, wait, did I lose all of my cats? There's one, the potato. Oh, Nicole, you're only at 30K and Nano is almost ending. I don't know if you're going to make it unless you've got, like, if you have great plans for this weekend. I fully support that. We have, you know what? We have 4 days left. So that is, you just have to write 5K a day. And you know what I'm doing right now is I am writing 5K a day. And I say it like that's not some massive goal. It is. I'm not even, you know what? I'm looking at this like desk calendar that I have, but I can't actually, hey, I've got stuff I need to do today. I'm looking at this desk calendar and I have no idea what day it actually is. You have 5 days, and that is 4K a day, which is a lot, but it is, I mean, and of course, it all depends on your life. You know, if things are like way too hectic for you to like hunker down and write 4K a day, I get it. That's not, you know, I'm not judging at all if your life just doesn't let you do it, or if your brain just doesn't let you do it. But 4K a day is not, I mean, it's a hard goal, but it is not an undoable goal. Yoda says 5K a day would be super tough for him. I don't know. You know, the reason that I can do 5K a day is because I've been doing Nano for 6 years now. 16 years now. Let's get the actual number right. No, 18 years. Just accept that I cannot math. No, I was right the first time. 16 years. I've been doing this since 2004. This is my 17th Nano. And then I have all of the other camps that I've done as well. And when you've been doing something for that long, it really does. Like it's one of those things where like it's kind of an imperceptible change at the beginning. It takes a long time to build up to writing 5K a day. And it's not, I don't think anybody would consider that sustainable forever. The good news is it doesn't have to be sustainable forever. It has to be sustainable long enough for you to write a novel. And then once you do that, you go to editing and your other projects. You schedule yourself some days off to do other stuff. You have actual weekends, I guess, if you want them. I'm not a weekend person. I work every single day, but I like what I do, so it's okay. And I've got goals that will hopefully get me to the point where one day I'm not having to write 5K every single day of my life, but I am nowhere near those goals yet. And I did something that made me have to get there a lot faster. And by that, I mean, I quit my terrible job and here we are. So let's go ahead and do our last sprint. It is going to be another 15-minute sprint. It is 41 pass, so that is going to take us to 56 to do our... Oh, Nicole does 5K in a day 3 times a week. You don't write every day because you can't write every day. Understandable. But yeah, so you can do those 5K days, but you can't do them every day, and I totally get that. Okay. I can occasionally do a 7K day that like I never deliberately schedule. If I deliberately scheduled a 7K day, it would not happen. But like what'll happen is I'll hit 5K and I'll just be in that groove. I'll be like, I could just keep going. And I'll think that I've written like 500 words and then I'll look, I'll have written 2,000 words. Again, I don't bank on days like that though. I bank on like in normal times, like 4,000 a day. Okay. So let's write for the next 15 minutes. I rambled for another minute. So that is going to take us to 57. And then we'll have some farewells and I'll send you guys off on your way. Good luck with the writing. Okay, so that is the end of sprinting today. I am again going to finish this sentence. So I can give you my final word count, and we'll see if I hit that 1,400 I was aiming for. Okay, that sentence actually made no sense whatsoever, but that is the joy of editing. So I am currently, oh, hey, so this is fun whether I got that 1,400 or not. I am at 80,002 words. And I think that was enough to get my morning goal, 80,000 words. Update that progress, and I hit 1,527 for the morning sprint. So I am feeling good about that. I am gonna go deal with some Thanksgiving stuff now. But if you are still looking for sprints, if you want to do a marathon today, I can pass you on to some other things that are happening. So if this will load, Killian Wolf should be about to go live. And this is that channel. Oh, wow. Miriam got 1,057 for her day. That is fantastic. And Nicole got 422 for that sprint, which is, I think, about, in fact, that is way better than what I did on that sprint. I got 389 on that sprint. So well done, you. I apparently messed up math earlier. That's okay. Don't mind me. Whoops. And then another sprint that is hopefully going on. I'm going to verify this for you before I tell you should go this way. My internet has been loading so slowly lately, I feel like. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you know what? I do have an update. Yes, there is actually a current sprint that is at 9 minutes right now on this channel. And this is Bree's channel. So Bree is currently sprinting, and Killian should be about to go live at any second now. You know, we always run a couple minutes late. So those are a couple sprints for you to go to, for you to continue your day. I'm probably going to be back around occasionally. I do absolutely have that goal of hitting 5,000 today so I can keep up my pace. Look at how handsome he is right now. Anyway, so if you guys are going to be bouncing around sprints today, I'll probably see you again. But good luck, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving if you are in the United States. If you are not in the United States, happy Thursday and good luck to you guys. I will be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. as per usual. So I hope to see you guys then.